into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, Muppets fans! We don't give a damn about our reputation. Actually, we care a lot. We're very vain people. Thank you so much for tuning into the AFTERBUZZ TV Muppets After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm so excited to be back. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. We're talking about tonight's episode of the Muppets, Unveil the Tale.
Unveil the Tale.
Oh, this was I'm so excited to be back. Thank you guys. I'm so sorry I missed you last week. Autumn Chiklis is here joining me.
Hello, everybody. I'm Autumn Chiklis. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at my name, Autumn Chiklis.
And you guys tweet me throughout the week, throughout the show, at that Zach Wilson. Katie and Steve, unfortunately, out tonight, but I'm hopeful they'll be back next week. I think they're getting their tails surgically attached. And that's why they couldn't be here. They were very excited about the tails.
I don't blame them. I was absolutely thrilled with the unveiling of the tale.
I thought it was a great episode.
Me too.
I think this is a good mix of like having meaning while also being adult and having that adult humor. Overall thoughts, Autumn.
Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed it. I think you're right. I think it was a nice little balance of you now that they've had 2 episodes established in the new kind of upgraded,
the new paradigm of Muppets.
The new paradigm of Muppets. You kind of see what they're going for, and they've kind of tried to bring it into the 21st century with all the Kardashian jokes and this idea of, I mean, even the whole concept of unveiling the tale and like self-acceptance is such a big thing right now in Hollywood and around the world, and it's become kind of an internet sensation. So I definitely see what they're trying to do now and the direction that the show is trying to go, and I think that this episode actually did it quite well.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't here last week, but I watched the episode.
Yes.
My quick thoughts on it. I wasn't wild about last week's episode. I get that they were doing this like behind the scenes reboot of sorts. I would have preferred they just ignore it and keep going.
Yeah, I understand.
Mainly because I enjoyed the first half of the season. Like I had a good time. Like if you weren't wild, if the network didn't care for where it was going, that's fine. Like retool behind the scenes. It was a little like, I know Muppets is very self-aware.
Yeah.
This was too self-aware for me.
I understand that. The one thing I will say, and you kind of touched on it, is the Muppets are very self-aware, so at least it didn't feel like it was entirely out of place for the show.
Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from in the sense that it could have easily just done what they did tonight, which was not do the kind of meta thing and just kind of go into a storyline. That being said, what that did give us is an obvious platform as to where the show is headed, and like I said, this episode kind of nailed that in. Yeah,
I guess I'm resistant to change, and because I enjoyed the first half.
I understand.
I am still a little nervous about what we're gonna get from this back half of the season, but if this episode is any indication, there are good things to come.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to say I'm hesitant at all, because I'm not, but I'm curious. I'm certainly not skeptical. I'm just kind of very, I don't know what to think yet, in the sense that I can see it going one of 2 ways, and I truly don't know which way it's going to go. It's either going to get darker and a little more twisted, and though I
vote for that one.
Either that, or it's going to kind of go back to the kid friend. Like, I'm not sure if they're gonna swing more adult or more kid, or try to really dance that very, very delicate line. But I guess we can only wait and see.
Yeah.
Future episodes.
I was sad to see Denise go.
Oh, Denise.
I know it like, not even in the sense of like I was so on board with like their relationship necessarily, but it felt like I think that was the thing that sort of like made me like not enjoy the episode, was that it was too much. Oh, we didn't like the first half of the season, so we're changing the things that we didn't like.
We're totally changing it, right?
As opposed to just going forward and trying to
shift it.
And Denise was sort of the as the new character was the representation of that.
Yeah, the one thing I will say about Denise, though, and I mean, obviously Katie and I had this because she was Team Denise and I was Team Piggy. I liked Denise. She was a good girl, but good pig. But like I said last episode, and obviously you weren't here, but I'll kind of fill you in now. She was very clearly, in my head, a device, and I kind of knew they were going to get rid of her from the start pretty early, because when I originally saw, and like, sorry if this is recap for some of you, when I originally saw the Kermit announcement that the two of them had broken up, it seemed, and I realized that it was because the Muppet Show was coming back, it became very clear that this was kind of a marketing ploy, and that this is a couple that has existed since the show's like beginning, and I don't think that it's like if Mickey and Minnie broke up, you can't do it. You can, but only I felt like it was a marketing device and a device used throughout the show. So to me, Denise I never had any hope for her as a character. I kind of knew, like, oh, Peggy will be back soon.
I do hope Denise comes back. I want to see her as this like spiteful ex who's gonna like toy with the show now, because she is an executive. Who knows what she could do?
It's very true. I'm sure she would have been very appreciative of unveiling the tale tonight.
Yes.
As a pig herself.
Yeah. I think she would have had some very conflicting feelings. Seeing your ex-boyfriend's ex, who was the reason for the complications, effectively stripping down on national television.
I suppose so. It is effectively stripping down, but
that's the metaphor anyway.
Yes.
So let's talk about this. A Tale of Two Piggies was the title of the episode. I mean, let's start off with Piggy. I mean, that's the big analogy they're going for, is that like just embrace who you are, no body shaming. Like, if you have a tail, embrace the tail. Wear it around your neck, if you will.
Absolutely. And there was something also because around your neck, Chip. What was that moment? There are definitely some there's some jokes that are really kind of harder than they would have been at the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? There are some of these jokes that are a little like more edgy than they would have thrown, and a little kind of stranger and darker. But I
think that's just because we've gotten to know the characters now, and we got to know this like
I really
version
like
of
it.
them.
And I really liked Chip's little when I get reincarnated, I'll be whole moment. But I think it's when it comes to the stripping down of it, sorry for that, when it comes to the stripping down of it, she did say something about basically, oh, you know, all of these other people have tails, it's my tail because it's curly and fat. So it was less about being indecent, if you will, and more about body shaming and thinking that certain things are beautiful and acceptable and other things are not for whatever reason.
Yeah, and that's a great message. Yeah. And I think that's really what the Muppets has in spades, and this episode shows it off. Shows it off in a lot of ways. Yeah, I thought it was great that they brought in Linda, the little pig.
That was really cute. That was a really sweet moment, and obviously Piggy embraced it in her narcissistic way.
Yeah.
But the fact that they had, you know, a little pig, a piglet, come on and basically say, you've made me feel okay, and in gym class I was so ashamed, and here you are on national television. It's very poignant for what's going on right now, I think, in the internet sphere and really around the world, that people are calling for better representation. People are kind of saying enough is enough when it comes to body shaming. And so one thing I will say about the new Muppets reboot, if you will, is that they're definitely trying to stay poignant, and they're trying to stay on fleek, if you will, to use a term the kids say. But
that's what the network would like. They want you. They want the Muppets to be using terms like "on fleek."
Yeah, or like who tweeted it? Kim Kardashian. That was a jab. Was that not a jab?
Oh, that was totally a jab.
That was a jab at.
Shots were fired at Kim Kardashian. The question if she is going to understand the joke. I'll leave that up to the audience to decide.
It was just it was a really quiet. I guess not so quiet, but just a little slip of a jab with the. I hate when people wear different color. Woof, harsh.
I think it was when they don't wear found it. It was like, if they don't wear makeup.
Yeah, I thought
that's the worst thing they could possibly do.
It was something, I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like if they wear the wrong color foundation on their face.
Whatever it
Whatever it
was.
was, the point was it's pretty much the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
That was the joke of it.
And the bit at the end, I know we were rushing in here, so the bit at the end where they quoted Winston Churchill. Fozzie reads off the quote, I don't have it in front of me, and then it's like, who said it? Winston Churchill? From Animal.
Yep.
No, it was Miss Piggy tweeted it.
Piggy.
Curveball at the end. I like they did well with that joke. I think it's cool. Boo69B's in the chat roll says my 5-year-old self's brain exploded seeing Piggy's tail because I never knew she had a tail.
I know, I understand that. When you think about the Muppets as like fleshed out characters and animals, you kind of think of them as Muppets. They don't have tails or anything that you don't see on camera. They're Muppets.
Well, because you don't think about the fact that they have a bottom half.
No, not at all.
They absolutely do.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Only in like weird shots where they like are thrown in the air. They have to build a bottom half for them.
Exactly.
It's one of the mysteries of the Muppets. What's below the camera line?
Oh man, that's where Hollywood's going anyway. So.
But so they did a lot of like topical stuff. I like they did that jab. They had the 1 million Angry Parents Association, and there's only 3 people outside plus a pizza guy.
But they're angry parents, and
But the
they're going to
network-
shut down the network.
The network gets upset, and that's real. That's like
It's a very real
for
thing.
everyone who thinks that's a joke. No, that's very real. The network takes like one complaint and they freak out. It's an unfortunate part of this industry, but that's what it is. And like there's a whole there was a little bit of a parallel there with like Kermit and his ex a little bit. Like there's also Gonzo dealing with his ex.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to make a transition, and then I realized like they didn't really go into the whole Piggy and Kermit ex thing in this eepisode.
No, but they did bring in the Gonzo's ex at the end, which is kind of a cliffhanger.
Whoa, Camilla's back.
Camilla is back. Full bucking.
I like this whole thing, Gonzo getting over her. I like that we acknowledged Camilla was there. Like they hadn't mentioned her on the show yet.
I know, it was so random, but okay. Now she's back. She's here. She's officially here. And I mean, there was that whole B storyline of Gonzo and the gang getting their jacuzzi.
They're like,
super awesome.
The idea of Gonzo, Pepe, and my brain just like lost it.
Gonzo, Pepe, and I'm looking at
Rizzo. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
It's bad. I'm tired. I'm sorry, guys. I need to apologize for the internet. Flies off the handle. Rizzo. The 3 of them living in a house together.
When you said that, I froze. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who are we missing? No, but the 3 of them are going to be Animal House. Without Animal, of course. But it's absolutely...
It's Animal House in a whole different sense of the word.
Yeah, exactly. And that will... I don't know if they're going to continue with that line necessarily, like if they're going to keep that house or if it's just going to kind of disappear into the ether. But if they do, that could lend itself to some really fun little parties and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be fun. We got the pool party.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a pool party.
With the red
led to some of the most uncomfortable things I've ever seen on this show. I mean, we talk about Piggy unveiling her tail. I'm all about it. I don't know about Pepe spreading bare ass on the shag carpet.
Okay, yeah, I know you turned to me when we were watching that. I was like, wait a second. Hold up. That's a little racy. It's funny because it's not racy at all.
No.
Except it's the Muppets.
Yeah.
So it just feels kind of strange.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's actually, it was a very smart move to put that in there.
Yeah.
Because you have a male character, buck-ass nude, in this episode, and they're shaming the piggy's tail popping out. And it like, you don't really think about it because they blow past it, but you didn't really think about that as controversial at all.
No, I totally understand, and there's something to be said about the fact that you didn't think that it was controversial.
Yeah.
And of course, with Piggy, you weren't prepared to think that her tail coming out is controversial either. And they don't really address the fact that animals are specific animals, and they don't really have a hierarchy in the world that they've established. But for some reason, Piggy seemed to be very upset about the idea of oinking and stuff like that, like being a pig was somehow one of the lesser things you could be. I'm not sure if that's true. But,
well, because people associate what people associate being a pig
exactly
with.
But I think it was nice to kind of put that to bed, if you will.
Yeah. So we got to wrap out here. A short show today. But Autumn, any last thoughts? Anything you loved about this episode?
Actually,
that we didn't talk about?
The cliche moment, if you will, like the climax of it for me was my favorite, when Kermit turns around and unveiled the tail, and then one by one everyone started doing it.
Yeah. Oh, it was so
adorable.
well constructed, and all of it leading up to Joan Jett walking out to.
That was awesome.
It was epic.
That was pretty epic.
That was the Muppets distilled in one scene. Moving message leading up to a big musical number with a random guest star. You were like, where did you come from?
I never thought I'd be headbanging to the Muppets, but I was.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn about reputation.
Now. All right, with that rock out, I think that's going to do it for us here at AfterBuzz TV's Muppets After Show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I know it was a short show, but the two of us, we talked about the episode. If there's anything that you loved about this that we didn't get to talk to, let us know in the comments below. Give us a review on iTunes. You can hit us on SoundCloud. Follow us, subscribe everywhere you can. Follow us. Autumn, where can they follow you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at my name, Autumn Chiklis, Chiklis.
And you guys can follow me at that Zach Wilson on Twitter, Instagram, also now on YouTube, where I'm doing some new videos talking about TV. My goal for this year, for 2016, is to reach 1,000 subscribers by December 31st. I am so far have 39, so I have a long ways to go. But so go on to there and subscribe, and I'll hear a whole bunch of afters, including Agent Carter later tonight. Guys, I'm Zach Wilson, and thanks for geeking out with me.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.